Okay, I'm gonna have this on our YouTube channel too, just like I have been. But if I forget to upload it, I was just thinking tonight, I'm like, did I ever do last month? Yeah, I did. I think so. But if I ever forget or something, or you're wondering, just feel free to let me know or ask. So welcome to November's Faithful Growers Refocus Refuel. I'm going to share a couple of slides for tonight, even though I don't normally do that. We're going to just chat. But tonight, we're going to do what we did last month. We're going to do some giveaways. And I have some fun pictures to share. I didn't get all of them up there as we just got some, I think, later, but we'll do some fun stuff. So I want to start with this. Here's a few of them. Let me just get this out of the way here. I love everybody's pictures. They're so cute. So for tonight, sorry, my puppies are being ridiculous. Hey, lay down. I wanted to see if you guys could guess any of these pictures. Let me see here who's all on tonight. If you look at who's on tonight, let's see here. We have, I think I have somebody, maybe one up there who isn't on yet. But other than that, I think we've got, I think so. So put it in the chat if you have any guesses about any of these people in the picture and who they might be. Let me see. Michaela. You guys are so cute. Read the chat. The little Wonder Woman. That's so cute. The one that's everybody's guessing on. Okay, while you guys are guessing, I want to share what I have to give away tonight. So, randomly grab a couple of things. The other things I grabbed. Okay, so I have a brand new copy of Gentle Babies, the newer one, which is, I noticed, considerably thicker than the last ones. I love it. So if you don't have this, you can use it for yourself, or it's a really, really great new baby gift for any of your customers or something like that. So you can give that to somebody else if you don't need it for yourself. I have a feather diffuser that I wanted to share tonight and give that away. This, I have an extra large hoodie hoodie with a little logo on it. It's a zip up hoodie. Good for all kinds of things. Okay. Picture. Oh, this is fun. Okay, so let's see here. Michaela and Joelle are right. So the first picture is Missy. So Michaela got that. And Joelle, you got the second picture right. That's Jessica. She's so cute. Look at that. You guys are so cute. Okay, so Joelle and Michaela, tell me what you want out of those three things. Pick your prize.
I'll do the Gentle Babies book.
Who said that, Michaela?
Caleb.
Okay, I got you. Sorry, my stupid puppies. I gotta put the babies away.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Did you shower yet? Oh.
Okay, Joelle, right?
Yeah. What did you have again?
The extra large Oily Friends hoodie or the feather, the oil diffuser?
Oh, I like the hoodie.
Okay, got it.
Oh, super cool.
Yay.
Okay. And then I'm gonna have to give the other thing away too, but we'll see how that goes tonight. Okay, I don't want to take up too much of your time. That was fun. So let's see here. So yes, Missy is the first one. Jessica Holler is the second one. Lauren is the third one, and Julie McKenzie, is she on yet? She's that last one, super cutie. You can never have too many hoodies. It's true. Okay, so, all right, here we go. Somebody guess which one is me in this picture. And then I'll give you the feather, the oil diffuser.
The Malachi look-alike. I mean, I don't want to win it because I already got something, but Malachi look-alike. Wow.
Really?
Is that you?
Which one?
With the blue and the red and the white on your jacket.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, well.
Where's the picture? I want to see the picture again. How do I see the picture? I can't see the picture. I'm in a group chat. I see a meeting group chat. Why do I
Yeah.
not see the picture?
Missy,
Is it
you
because I'm
got
on my
it.
phone?
Yeah, Missy got it. I'm the one in the Navy. I'm the one on the right, all the way to the right. But that was hard because, you know, I have an identical twin sister, so I like to have fun with that. Okay, Missy, good. You got it. All right. So tonight we have two things that I want to share with you. Let me just kind of yeah, okay. So two things. Number one, I want to talk about bucket list, and I don't love that term. It's like I feel like it's kind of I don't know that I love the way that it's used. But for me, the thing is that I like to think about it in regards to more like kind of dreams, but um not like just dreams like, oh, you know, I'm dreaming of it, but it's not going to happen or whatever. So I'm kind of thinking of things like what are things on your list that maybe would be on your bucket list where it's like, I'm going to do those someday, or at least at some point in your life you said, I'm going to do that someday. Because I think that as I was looking at the pictures of us as kids, I was thinking there's a really big difference between what that kid would think of that list and what we think of that list now. There's so much mindset that gets thrown in there as we get older. And so, I mean, when I was a kid, you know, if somebody would have given me a list of like the things that I've gotten to do that I've done and checked off my list or whatever with Young Living, you know, the kid in that picture would be like, yeah, we're going to do that. We can do that. We didn't overthink it. We didn't get into all this mess of like, what if this, or what about this, or how am I going to do this? And so that kid of me in the picture versus maybe me 10 years ago, I think very differently about those bucket list items. And so I thought it would be fun to just kind of reflect on that a little bit, because there's so much that's possible with Young Living. You know, I love that Jackie, if you follow her on Instagram, she shows you too what is possible with this. And so, you know, there's so many items that we could put on our list. And I think that the biggest problem with that list is the mind mess that we get into. So much of it is just mindset. And I know for me personally, in the last 8 years of doing this, I've had seasons of good mindset and seasons of mindset where I fell back into things that slowed me down or held me back or whatever. And so, you know, it's not like we have to have this perfect mindset all of the time when we're doing this, because this is the long game. You know, like I shared in Faithful Growers, that post that I did, like, was it 10 years ago when I first started with Young Living? That was just super embarrassing, because you know, it is the long game. And so there's seasons of our business and seasons of our mindset. And so sometimes I think it just helps to kind of get back onto the right mindset. In the last couple of months, I've had some really great help and some people in my life that have really shifted my mindset again, and helped me get back to the mindset that I had when I was really, really pouring well into my business and into our community and things like that. And so that bucket list, I think, is just something that is so profoundly held up or lost based on our mindset. And so one of the things that I want to kind of just go over tonight is mindset, real quickly. And we're going to do that talking about just enrollments and what's working. And so we're going to look at those who are top enrollers, just hear from some of them, our top enrollers from October. And also the last thing I wanted to kind of touch on really briefly tonight is something that, Missy, I'm calling you out, but Missy had a really great question. It's just like, how do we cultivate community? Because that's what we're doing here 100%. Is cultivating community and growing community. And that's really where it's at with our business. So I wanted to touch on that really quickly too. And at any time, if you want to chime in, this is our community and you guys have learned so much and gained so much knowledge and wisdom in this that I want to hear from you too. So I want to just kind of talk about some of the things as I was thinking about it, like what's working. So I thought it's pretty cool because some of us who are listed as the top enrollers on my team of thousands and thousands and thousands of people are people who have been doing this for many, many years. I've been enrolling people for 8 years. And I always love to see too, when some of my other fellow diamonds are on the top enrollers list too, because, the thing is that, you know, sometimes it's easy at first to just sign up a bunch of people who are in your initial market, your warm market, your friends and your family and things like that. But if what you're doing works, you should still be signing people up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20 years into it. Because the thing that we need to be doing is always growing our network. And if we're always growing our network, then we're always going to be able to enroll, and that's the long game here. So I wrote down a couple of things that I found to work, and then I want to hear from a couple others of you about what worked for you. How did you get on the top enrollers list in October? So the 3 things that I wrote down, number 1, mindset shift, and we just talked about that. So for me, for instance, I was talking to somebody who's helped me really shift my mindset in the last couple of months. And I realized just a few things, like I wasn't as busy as I thought I was. And I was overthinking things, and it was like, well, I don't know when to post or what to post or how to post it or how. And I just started just doing it. Like, it's not going to look perfect. It's not all going to be on the same theme. It's not going to be this, and just start posting and posting. And my enrollments went up so much that, and I just I didn't do anything else really other than just be a little bit more random and haphazard at what I was doing and not really overthink it. So I don't know if there's somebody that needed to hear that, but that was one shift that I noticed for me. It was like, well, just do it and stop overthinking it. And that obviously got me some productivity in my life, just doing more of the work. And basically what I'm just doing is sharing the same information, but I'm sharing it over and over in different ways. Because as we talked about last month, a lot of times it's easy for people to get overwhelmed. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of products. And so, and sometimes people aren't starting it for essential oils. And so, you know, I just keep sharing the same things over and over, but in different ways. And if I share something this way, I might find that it reaches a small number of people. And then if I change it up and shift it and share it a different way, I might find that it reaches thousands of people that way. And so it's just a really cool way to keep getting the same information out there in different ways. So you're reaching people. And, you know, for me, and maybe for some of you too, if you hear about a product once, you might not jump on to it that first time, but you're going to start thinking about it. And the more you keep hearing about it, and the more you keep seeing it, and the more you keep experiencing whatever you're experiencing with your health, the more you're finally going to take the plunge and do it. So one of the mindset shifts for me was making sure that I'm sharing the same information over and over and over and over again, and not feeling like I'm being too repetitive or like a broken record or anything like that, because that's what our brains need in order to finally take the plunge. And I think especially since 2020, people have been so much more hesitant to do things and stuff like that. So, you know, don't feel like you're overplaying anything, because it might take a lot of people many times of seeing that information and seeing it different ways. So different ways might be, you know, as far as like social media, it might be, you know, just like some kind of post, and then it might be a video, and then it might be this, and then it might be a class or whatever it might be, but just keep getting that same information out there. And then for me too, I notice that I get the most people jumping on when I am the example, when I'm like, I've done this and I've gotten the results. And so I think that's definitely where we earn trust from people. And I think that obviously the trust is the biggest thing. So those are the things that I've noticed. But I wanted to also kind of hear from a few of you. So I have asked Michaela, she rocked it last month. So I've asked her to share a little bit about just what she did. And then I want to hear from Jackie too. And then if anybody else wants to chime in too, and just like if you've got something you're like, this totally worked. I was blown away by this. Whether it just got one person or more, I don't care. I want to hear everything that's working from you guys tonight. So let's go to Michaela first.
Right. Well, I guess there's not like a ton to say about it, but I was just being like authentically myself and just being real with people. Like if you're sick constantly, like stop buying Tide Pods and stop buying deodorant with fragrance and stuff like that. Like I just kind of, the filter just went off. But I think like people need that, right? Like that's how we learn, is the truth hurts. But so like specifically at work, I had a lot of like anxiety and like fear about sharing, because I work in the dental field. There's a lot of judgment about like holistic wellness and stuff like that in the dental field. There's opinions. So I kind of kept quiet for a long time until I just like hit this point recently where I just don't care. Like I don't care. Like I'm here to tell you what I know. I'm here to help you. Like God put me here for a reason. So I'm going to tell you what it is. So, and I just started to do that. And one of my coworkers who, she's in remission, but she's still taking like chemo pills and stuff. So she's not well. So she actually just took a product guide home the other day, which was really cool. My one coworker signed up. She got a kit. She just did a whole big order for the Black Friday sale. She's super excited about it. She's got a little guy. So I'm very excited to just, it's little, but it's not little. It was, for me, it was really big that 3 people in my workplace are like, can you get me this? Can you get me this? And so I guess just like being just being myself, and just the fear of what other people think of me does like not define me, does not define my success. And so I've just really had to throw that mindset out the window, because it's not serving me and it's not serving those around me at all. So that's
That's fire, Michaela. That's huge for you too. I know that you've come really far to get to that point. So
yeah, a journey.
They're there, and you're still young, so you figured out way sooner than I did. Yes, like Jessica said, other people's opinions don't pay your bills. Yeah, that's right. I love it. Thank you, Michaela. That was awesome. Okay, Jackie, you want to share something?
Yeah, that's awesome, Michaela. I love to hear that, because I think on our last little meetup, we both kind of like were relating to each other, where we both didn't feel like we could do it, which I know that people are shocked to hear that from me. And like I connected with you because we were kind of like, no one has money right now. What's going on here? And so I really can relate to that. And when you say I just took like quick notes really fast because Sarah asked me earlier, but like I'm kind of like a let's just go with it kind of gal. But I have written here, the number one thing for me is authenticity. And I was on the phone with my husband today driving back from, I was down in Key West, but I was like, what did I do differently last month? And he said, you're not showing up in a forced way. And I think that especially for those of us, which I'm year 5 in Young Living, I know that a lot of y'all look at me like I'm still a baby in it. But I definitely have earned my stripes. Trust me, ask Sarah about that. But it's been when I force it, if you've been in this and you lose a rank, the mindset shift for me too is like, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get back to that rank, whether it's executive or it's silver or it's senior star or it's platinum. And especially if you've, become the primary provider for your household, I realized showing up in this forced way was just coming off force. So whether that was in my neighborhood or that was online. And so the biggest thing that I did last month, and I was just like, Lord, I put my business at his feet And if I felt called, like how I built to those ranks in the beginning so fast was I just shared everything. I overshared everything. And Michaela, I didn't care what people thought. I tried not to identify with what they thought, even though I know they were thinking something. And I just tried to remind myself, like, you can't have impact, you can't change lives, you can't help that woman with chemo unless you do it scared, and you might get mocked. You might get made fun of, you might have people slam the door on you. And so for me, I think the biggest thing last month was just showing up more authentic for what was working with me when I was just forcing it, and made my Instagram or even in person like an infomercial or a commercial. Like, I think you have to kind of look around to find that I'm a Young Living leader. And I'm not saying if you do that, that's a bad thing, but for me, that doesn't work. I like to have the diffuser in the background, or I'd like to just casually put on my Thieves hand sanitizer and not be like, you know what's in that, which, by the way, Michaela, I do that too. But you get what I'm saying. So I think the biggest thing for me last month was authenticity, and then definitely serving first and asking second. So there's a bunch of people here, even in the islands, that like they know I'm the weird oil lady already. And so I love that. And, someone kid had an ear infection, someone else, and I kind of like looking around like, okay, I have an extra diffuser. And so dropping off little care packages like the beauty counter people I remember used to do for me. Like, I was riding around and I just like let this local girl who signed up and placed one order one time with me. I knew her son had an ear infection. I had extra garlic drops. And so I just put together a little package. And like, I know that the Lord sees that, and I know that that goes out and it comes back later. So a lot of what happened for me last month was serving 4 years ago. It was answering a DM that I didn't want to answer, breastfeeding, my youngest at the time. And like that, me telling them what I would do for X, Y, and Z. Sometimes you feel like it's not working. And I just want to say, like Sarah says, like, longevity is why I'm still here. And I believe in these products. And no, we don't all use every single one. Sarah has her own vitamin line. Like, we all we dabble in other things, but like at the end of the day, I really believe in the business model. I believe in the community. And so that was the second thing. And then consistency. So one of the things that I really notice with, especially this amazing November month is always really exciting in Young Living, is a lot of my leaders, they only want to share when it's sexy, and they only want to share when it's fun and good and feels good. And, diamonds are made under fire and pressure. And the ranks, I used to look at those ranks and those leaderboards and like, I had to be the top whatever. I don't care about that crap anymore. I just want to help people, and the rest will come. The money comes, the freedom comes. Like, I've already tasted the freedom and the money, but I'm here to serve. And so I know that that will attract different leadership. And I just want to like remind you guys to remind your teams that, we're all busy. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, and, show up even when it's not sexy, show up when it sucks, show up when your check drops, show up. And it doesn't mean you're showing up and neglecting things that are priority to you in your life, your faith, your marriage, trust me, I had to heal adrenal fatigue this year. I still have some stuff going on with fight or flight, but definitely still showing up. So being consistent in whatever way feels right to you. So whether it's serving in I don't know what your niche is or where you get the most enrollments or what you found the most success, but like, go back to 6. I know we always talk about that. But that's what really has been working for me, even with this Black Friday sale. Like, Michaela, I think you and I both said the same thing last month. Like, do people have money right now? Like, because like we all feel it, like, like, it's like, I have a teenage son. Like, how am I going to feed this child? It's too much money. And the Black Friday sale is a perfect example. Like, they have the money. We just have to, and not only run your business when it's easy to run your business because there's this amazing sale, right? Because we know our products are going to sell themselves. So just don't give up and be consistent and show up authentic to yourself, and know that like, we're in the right place. Sarah knows what she's doing. We're all here to support each other, and just keep going, keep looking forward, because I find it amazing when I'm glad to see who's still here when it's not sexy. I love to see what leaders are still here, whether they're cross line, up line, around time, down. I'm like, oh, you really are one of those lifers, huh? Like, because you really see, the meaning of the products, right? So I think it's amazing. And whatever goes down must come up. So if you're feeling a little about numbers, that's fine. it will go back up. When you go low, you got to only go up. So just remain positive, because if you're constantly talking about your leaders in a negative way, or you're feeling that way, that's just not going to work out for us. So that's what worked for me.
Thank you. That
Yeah,
was,
of course.
you're right, because I think we did over 100,000 in volume for Black Friday alone, you guys. I mean,
insane.
hello. That is massive. So you're so dang right about that. Yes. People
Yeah,
have the
Michaela said poverty mindset is a real problem. And I really never understood that until like getting more deep into like my business and mindsets and like working on myself and all that. And it's like we just have to show the value, because they're gonna buy Diet Coke, right? And they're gonna, again, I'm not here to throw shade if anyone drinks that, but you know what I'm saying? Like we can create that value. Like Sarah was saying last month, like she's meeting with people that are like, tell me what to buy. I want to feel better. And now we're also like, yeah, it's gonna have a lull after Black Friday, but now let's focus on wellness for the new year. Let's focus on how can we help them, feel better next year, make 2024 better. We don't have to wait for sales to do that. And to be honest with you, I don't know if any of you follow me, I'm not telling you to, but I shared about the Black Friday sale one time publicly. I privately was like, hey, did you see that sale? Text here, text there. And because publicly, sometimes I don't want to be that infomercial all the time. So it was more about the relational side for me. And I got some pretty big OGV spikes from that and another thing is, Sarah, I used to be the bougie queen of like incentives. I didn't do one incentive for the team, because our products just sell themselves. So like that was really cool too for me to see, like, oh, look at that. I didn't have to send someone a freaking $1,000 espresso machine. Yay. So by the way, that person quit. So you can't buy loyalty in that way. So don't do that, guys. But anyway, you get what I'm saying.
It's true. I love that shift. That's so good. I mean, incentives are great and everything, but there's definitely that value in seeing that our products speak for themselves. I'm glad you said that. Also, so I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you wanted to say anything, I want to leave it up to you, because you are on the top enrollers for this month, because she just like kind of came back in the last couple months with fire. So you don't have to or anything, but if you want to.
Yes, can you guys hear me? I'm not techie at all.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, one thing you said, Sarah, hang on. Share the same info over and over again in different ways. Okay. I follow this couple on Instagram, and what is their name? Like organic vegan living in Hawaii. And they live in this hut, and they just wear bikinis all day, and they live by the ocean, and they're just eating like all of this fresh food, right? Like this is an amazing lifestyle they have that most people don't have. And I follow them and I'm just like, wow, right? That's the life. But they also sell, I don't even know exactly what it is. It's like a little pyramid shaped EMF negator, I guess. I don't even know what it is. And so I follow them. I love their content, but they're always sharing about what they sell, and they create it in different ways. Sometimes they'll be standing like under like a 5G tower and talking about it, or other times they'll be like picking bananas and holding their little pyramid. And so I listen to that because I follow them and I love them. And I'm always like, I don't need that. I don't even know what it is. I don't know how to use it. So the other day I was looking at their content and I found myself thinking, oh my gosh, do I need one of those? Like interested, right? And like you said, if you keep sharing over and over and over again, people maybe are not familiar with these products. They don't think they need them, but eventually you will educate them about them, and eventually they'll come to see the need. So you were talking about that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that totally applies to those girls that I follow. So it's true. Yeah.
That's so true.
I know. I'm like, why am I thinking I want to buy this now? I still don't even know what it is.
And you've probably
No, but
seen them share it like 40 times, right?
yeah, yeah. So
That's awesome. Thanks.
yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. So I like that. I think that was a perfect way to add to that because I mean, I'm, going over the same stuff because that's the stuff that I'm super passionate about. And so I think, I mean, I can get behind, Young Living's products all the way across the board, but there's some that I'm way more on board with, and my passion's going to come through on those. So I'm going to be able to be a little bit more passionate when I share those and be like Michaela was with them. Just be like, pretty dang sure you need this. And just say it like it is, which I love that. So that really actually does work. So what Michaela said, if you're not like kind of coming on like just so sure of it, like that's toxic, get that out of your life. And um you need this and you need this now, then try that shift. So if you guys have anything else to add to that, please pop it in the chat and then I can pause and go to you or anything if you want to. Absolutely want to hear whatever anybody else has to say. And then I also want to take time to just go over really briefly this awesome discussion about how we cultivate community, because it really is huge. I've been to a lot of classes that people that some of my brand partners do. I like to, if it's local, if it's possible, to join up with them to just kind of what's done. And I've seen so much in it that it really is a lot about cultivating community, because there's something more about our business that has to do with community than it does the products. And so if you can work to cultivate community, your business is going to go farther, and you're going to, what happens to, there's so many things that happen with community is that you can getting those testimonies that really feel your passion for the products as well. So you'll, like we'll have classes or get-togethers where we're sitting there and somebody will just share something and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that, or I didn't even think to use that for that. And it just adds so much value to your life, your knowledge, and everything with community. So I also find that, being in community in this business is way more motivating than just always kind of going solo, even though it is our own business and we are in it that way. And so that's really why I've kind of strived to get back to our Connect and Refuel Zooms every month and stuff like that too. All about relationships, less about the products. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. So what Jessica said. So a couple of things that I jotted down, and then if you have anything to add to it, please add to this. But I jotted 3 things down as I was thinking about it, like what creates or cultivates community? How can we do that? Because in my experience, sometimes brand partners will come into this and be like, well, you're not local to me because, building online, a lot of my people aren't local. And so they're kind of like, well, the community isn't just automatically there. And so I can't do this like you do. And what they don't realize sometimes is that I had to create my own community, and we all have to in this. We can have this community with, but ultimately in our own business, we have to create and cultivate our own community in order for our own businesses to be successful. So the 3 things that I wrote down, number 1, that I found to really, really help me out, and this will go back to what I talked about, what worked for me for enrolling too, is to be genuinely interested in the lives of other people. This is like what Jackie talked about too, and just serving. For me, I'm going to be honest with you, I was not natural at this when I first started. That's something that I've had to learn and grow in, and I'm still working on learning it better. But just so, Jackie was saying serving first and then asking after that, serving and just listening to people. And I went to one of Brendan Burchard's conferences a couple of years ago, and he was talking about how one of them was talking about how our audience is always speaking to us. We just have to learn to listen to them. And so really just tuning ears to be able to hear what people are asking for, what their needs are. and just be genuinely interested in helping meet their needs. So that just really is like what Jackie was talking about. One of the resources for me that I found helpful was that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I had some serious biases about the title of that book, I will be honest with you. But I think that for those of us who that just doesn't come naturally, just there's some ideas in there, and just learning how to ask questions. And that book kind of helps with that too. It has some dialogue in it that just helps, like learning to ask people questions. And the more that we learn to ask questions, the more that we, really do develop this genuine interest in other people's lives. So that was number one for me. And then number two, sorry, this is distracting, but they're like newborns. They're just boogers. Okay. Number two, when you're cultivating community, you don't want to just throw a wide net. You don't want to just, be like, oh, whoever will come, and kind of with that scarcity mindset. So this kind of goes back to making sure that we're not operating out of poverty mindset, because poverty mindset says, we need to try to just get everybody we can in our community because there's not enough people for the kind of community that we're looking for and things like that. But abundant mindset says there are plenty of people around me that God's going to put into my life that have shared interests on common ground that will help me build the community that I am called to build. And that community is going to look different than the community that somebody else is going to build, because the community that I build is different than the community that each of you are building, and that's different from each other as well. So it's kind of just really focusing on what that common ground and those shared interests are in the community that you're seeking to build. And then you're going to build those things that that community does, or that you do to build that community around those shared interests in that common ground. And then the third thing is to just make sure that you're creating consistent opportunities to gather and connect. So it won't always be gathering. So for instance, if you're part of a small group at church like I am, we have our gatherings that are set every month, a couple of Tuesday nights a month, or we went bowling together and things like that. But then also we have a group chat where we are connecting regularly, like every day. And that's how we know when it's somebody's birthday, and that's how we can all celebrate that person together, even if it's just in that little group chat. Those kinds of little things definitely create community. But it has to be consistent. So it's kind of like if you're leading a small group or something, you can't just be like, well, I feel like doing it this month and I don't feel like doing it next month, or I didn't feel like doing it this month. So if you kind of just have that mindset shift in how you're looking at it, and how you're looking at consistency. Consistency is absolutely essential, but again, it doesn't always have to be gathering. There should be gathering. Like when I went bowling with my small group, it's a single small group through my church. That I connect better with people in person that way. But we definitely follow up the connections, or the gatherings with connections via group chat and things like that. So if you're looking at building community, that's definitely an essential part of it. And that just goes back to what everybody was talking about tonight and what Jackie was talking about when it comes to consistency. I think that consistency could probably be like the word of the month, or the word of the business overall. But sometimes I know that consistency kind of wavers, and it wavers for me all of the time. Like I said, like I went in a funk, and then I had somebody pouring into me and telling me, kind of things that I needed to hear to shift my mindset. But one of the things that helps me with consistency is it's just not overthinking it, and just be like, it's an essential part of it. So just do it. And it's not based on how I feel. Like, I want to be in my pajamas right now. I want to be cuddled up to the movie that I started last night and didn't get to finish. But it's not about how I feel. And obviously I'm so glad to be here with you guys tonight, and to hear from you guys and things like that. So, I mean, as much as I love doing what I do, I love it as much or more than when I started. And I love connecting with you guys, and I love seeing your faces. And it's okay to still not feel like doing it. Consistency has to come apart from our feelings. So once we get that, and I think that, Michaela's situation that she shared with us is a really great example of that, because I know Michaela well, and I know that she did not feel like coming on boldly with people, but she did it anyway. And then those feelings start to kind of be less and less the more you do it. And so then consistency in doing that gets easier and easier and easier. So sometimes our feelings just have to take in back seat, and we just got to drive the car and do it anyway, and then it'll start coming more easily. So those are the three things that I thought I would share about cultivating community. When you're genuinely interested in other people's lives, you will start to hear and see what their needs are, and just really be able to serve them well, like Jackie was talking about. And then really coming from a place of abundant mindset instead of like a poverty or scarcity mindset, focusing on that common ground and those shared interests, and attracting the people through focusing on those things. And then creating those consistent opportunities to connect and gather. So if you guys, Jackie, Jessica, Michaela, any of you guys, if you have any other things you want to add, or Missy too, when you ask that question, if that helps you, if you guys want to share about any of that, let me know. Yeah, if Amish diamonds can do this, yeah, really though.
I have something to share.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I've been doing this business for 6 years, and talk about it, consistency, right? I understand how important consistency is. I post and create content every single day. So a couple of months ago, I literally I don't know, I was just going through something, and I literally didn't know what to post. And I'm like, Jessica, you've been posting every single day for 6 years. How can you not know how to do this? This is like second nature. And I just like, part of me was like, I don't care anymore. I don't know I can't. And so I actually reached out for help, first time doing it, but I signed up for something that gives me like daily IPAs. And it was the first time that I actually had reached out and paid for someone to help me develop content. And it was so nice. So if you guys are stuck in a funk, and sometimes we go through them, and then maybe I won't need this in a couple of months, but right now I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. So if you're stuck in a funk, reach out. There's so many resources. Yeah, so
And I know some of y'all are thinking like, okay, well, if Jessica Holler gets in a funk, then hot dang, it's okay for me to get in a funk, okay?
I was like, what the heck? But nothing was coming to me, and didn't even care. So it really helped.
Thank you. It is
Yeah.
good. It is okay to get in those, right? Jackie, we do.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because I feel like this entire year has been a funk for me. And I also totally lean on those resources because there's so many out there. And then recycle content, recycle and reuse. Like, go back and take the same dang posts. And maybe if you don't live in that same kitchen, you can use the same caption and put it out there, because every single day there's a new person that's in sphere. I also was thinking about, as you were talking, Sarah, and then Jess was talking about, there's times where you might be doing something that you don't feel that immediate, oh, they signed up. Yeah. Like, sometimes it's Sarah health coaching someone, and or it's Jess is doing something. Like, not all the time is it that you get this immediate enrollment or leader emerges. And so it's like just making sure that you're cultivating that. When I feel discouraged about my leaders or my numbers, I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm the only thing I can control here. Like, I can't control if this person doesn't see their potential and doesn't see, like, don't you see what I'm living? Like, young living is why. I can't say that publicly, right? But it's like, I can control myself. So I'm going to keep showing up, and it might not be online. It might only be in person right now, because I've got some scars I'm working through right now, but like, showing up in a way that's authentic to you, and God blesses it, the consistency. And like Jess is saying, like, this whole 2023 is a rut year for me. Okay. And so it's normal, and don't look at someone like Jessica or myself or Sarah and think that we don't have those days where we're like, not really feeling it. But then, you know, I'm sure Jess, you can relate to, then that mom will text you and be like, oh my gosh, I broke a fever. And you're like, oh crap, it's coming back again. The finesse, the sparkle. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Because that sounds like I only do it when it's sexy, but we have lulls, we have down, up. And sometimes we need this community here to kind of talk through it. So I think that, like, if anyone has questions about that, like if you're feeling discouraged too, Sarah, I don't know if that's okay if I say that, like, ask us, because we feel discouraged too. So, you know, maybe we can coach you and talk you guys through that. So
Yeah, thank you guys, both you guys for saying that. I think that we should just always be saying that because it's true. I mean, like, you know, when Jackie's gone through so much this year with her business and stuff, I'm so grateful that she allowed me in to all of that and to just walk and pray with her through that. I mean, you guys, it's such a blessing. That's community right there. So, yeah, the community is everything. And part of that is reaching out when you're like, there's no shame in being in a funk. We all get into one at least what every couple of years, at least maybe once a year, maybe once a month. I don't know. So no shame in that. Like I'm so glad you heard from the three of us. I mean, these are two of my platinums, you guys. So if they're going through it and I'm going through it, it's perfectly normal for you to go through it. So no shame, reach out. Also to that, something that we talked about earlier, I want to say, you guys, I have been doing this, well, just any natural health stuff long before I did Young Living. And I know that Jessica can attest to this too. Coming up like next month, especially after Christmas, but just leading up to it, just keep in mind that this is the biggest time of the year for those of us in natural health. Like, it is a business, and in the natural health business world, the next month plus is the absolute biggest time for our business. So if you need encouragement or just something or just ideas or to just bounce something off of us, do it now, because we want to show up our best in the next 6 weeks or so, because that is the prime time. People are looking to make changes to their health. They're looking to do something that's going to work. And so we can start, you know, just really laying the groundwork for that right now by showing that we're there to serve in this business, in this industry, in that area of life, and just setting it up for people that way. So just showing up in what you do and be proud of what you do. Be dang proud of what you do, because people need it, and you're not here by accident. This is not a coincidence. You're here for a reason. So, yes, Jessica, please.
I am so talkative tonight. Okay. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And in the next year, yeah, I'll probably do it in January. I'm going to teach a pinching pennies thieves class, like how to do Young Living on a budget. I bought that class. I have always written all my own classes, and I bought that class. And again, like reaching out if you need help or want help, it feels so good to go buy a class and not spend hours creating one. And so, anyways, yeah. So I'm going to be teaching that because you're absolutely right. People are going to want to make changes, and especially like in their home with the non-toxic products and stuff, it's perfect. So
Yes, I'm glad you said that, because full disclosure, I rarely create content now. I'm using so much from the Life Steps app, from what else am I using? I use Oil Share Hub. That's another one that I'm using. I did subscribe to that one. So there's a few out there, but yes, all this stuff you're seeing me. Yeah,
yeah,
it's not stuff I'm creating. So I'm glad you brought that up
yeah.
too.
Also,
There's no
Vital
shame.
180, Vital 180 has got some really, really great classes, and that's totally free. Like if you and we all have access to that. It's completely free. They've got everything on there too. So yeah.
Thank you.
I can't stop talking about the Life Steps app, guys. I'm just like
Same.
that. Like, is it still free for our customers? It is, right?
Yeah, there's still a free option. Yeah.
So when you enroll someone, I'm over here in 2020, I like developed an app Like, so because I thought I was gonna get deleted on Instagram. That's ridiculous. I didn't even know about this. Like what? And then the Life Steps app comes around. It's free for our customers. And then for brand partners, even if it's just us, if we had it, which, you know, eventually you can, it's a business write-off. But like when I have someone ask me a question, I go to Oily Friends, I go to my Facebook community group, and I pull from them. And then I always go to Life Steps app. And they're like the classes, like Jess was saying, like, there are so many resources, whether it's Etsy or just the Life Steps app, every single month. The challenges, Life Steps app. The graphics, Life Steps app. Replay, you feel like you're in a rut, you can search topics and replay Zooms with other diamonds that are crossline or platinums or silvers, and they're talking about what's working. And so it's really like we have unlimited resources between our community, like you said, Michaela, with Vital 180. It's just a matter of like sitting down, finding which ones we like to listen to, and I mean, it's all there. So I totally agree with you guys.
Thank you for that. Yeah, and I think that goes back to what we always talked about way back in the early days, is being duplicable, and just showing people like they can do it too. So this is good. Thank you guys.
The more I backed off, Sarah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I can. The more I backed off of my team, stop helicopter parenting them, the more, I mean, I lost half my team this year, part of my scars, but that's not why, by the way. But the more I see now, like these leaders that have so much potential, they kind of felt overshadowed by that helicopter leader. And I'm seeing that now. I'm seeing them do their thing. And I'm like, oh, you just need me to back off. That's it. I would have saved myself adrenal fatigue. Like, so that's something like, if you feel like you're kind of banging your head, this is like to the platinum. I'm talking to Jess, like I backed off and I was like, look at her go. Not Jessica, but I'm talking about my leader, obviously. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think Jessica and I are both like, yep, been there, done that. Yeah. So we're learning as we go, you guys. Nobody has this figured out. Okay. So I love you guys. That's awesome. That's exactly what we're talking about right now. So thank you for sharing what you guys are learning. I think that's the best part of this every month. Like, what are we learning, you guys? Because you know, I was looking into one of the verse in the Bible that talks about he's a light unto my feet, right? Well, there's a part that says a lamp to my path, but the light to their feet, it's like, why both? Why is there both? The light on my feet, because I literally can only see one step. And so that's how this business is. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So if you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to do it, I don't know what it's going to look like, that is absolutely fine. If you can see one day, then you're going to do this business just fine. Because I mean, gosh, you guys, go back and look at the first videos I did in Oily Friends. So embarrassing, but that's how it is. So no more overthinking, just one day at a time.
Now
Okay.
she's rollerblading and doing flips, and her dog can ride a freaking skateboard. Okay. Like, look at her go. No, I'm over there watching your reel when you're like cleaning out your greenhouse. So like, so true. As you were like cleaning up your, like, that's literally, I feel like cycles of our businesses too.
True. Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I thought of my business, like the ups and downs that come, and, you know, all God's pruning in your team and in yourself. And the best thing I heard this month, I have to share with you guys, is it wasn't a no from God. It was a not with them around. And I'm not saying to like blame your team or anything like that, but like sometimes with my goals, I'm like, you know, I'm not mad at the Lord, but I'm like, you know, I thought this, whatever. And it was like, if I had certain people in my corner or whatever, that would not have worked out best. And so just trusting God's plan and timing with all that. And that's what I've really like loved that quote this month. I was like, man, that's true.
I just wrote that down. It's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I remember one thing you said to me months and months back. You were like, I'm learning that it's just, there's cycles of rebuilding in this. And there are, whether it's rebuilding your numbers, your team, your community, or yourself, or all of the above. It's okay. So if you get to a point where you're like, I have to kind of feel like I have to start over, whether it's your mindset or something else, that's part of it. It's a season. Yeah. And so there's nothing wrong with that either. But if you're in that season, reach out, please.
Yeah, I'll attest to that. There was times that I couldn't even get out of bed, and like Sarah's prayers and just like encouragement, like yeah, you should reach out. Cross line, upline for sure. If you are feeling that way, you're not alone, and we all go through it. And it's not always those squares on Instagram or Facebook. You know, there's a lot that isn't told. So yeah, Sarah, you've been like such a sister in Christ and leader to me this year. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me that, because I learned a lot with
No,
you.
I mean,
Do that.
I wasn't gonna get out of bed if you didn't do some prayers over me some of those days. It was so bad. I hope that doesn't happen to you guys, but if it
Right, but
does,
if it does, that's
we'll
part of
be
life.
here.
That's the
Yeah.
season, and we're here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. And I have an alarm set on my phone every Thursday to pray for you guys. It's just like, there's so much about it that's so much bigger than we can see. And we're just here to be serving in that way. So I'm glad you said that too, Jackie. So thank you guys. We're about at an hour, so I'm going to end the recording, and I'm going to get that up. If you guys have any leaders you want to share it with or anything, it'll be on our YouTube